Ayo. So we're carrying on the zombie trend this episode, because I've just checked out Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. More commonly known as Zombie 3 in the States, it's a 1988 Italian zombie horror film directed by everyone's favourite Lucio Fulci. We've covered a bunch of his films in this series so far. But it's also co-directed by Bruno Mattei, who you may remember from directing episode 15's film Rats. So it's got a bit of a strange history, this series. It's a bit of a complicated series. Clearly, it's a sequel to Lucio Fulci's previous film, Zombie Flesh Eaters, which I covered in the Dead of Night collection. There'll be a link to the review up on the screen there. But this is an unofficial sequel to the Dario Argento cut of George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. So it's a little complicated, and it's called the Zombie series in America, and I think maybe even in Italy as well, with this commonly being known as Zombie 2, and this one as Zombie 3. It's also got quite a troubled production history by the sounds of it, with Lucio Fulci leaving partway through because he couldn't stand the film, and Bruno Mattei being swept in afterwards to pick up the slack, and you can really tell. This is also the only Vipco film that I own on VHS.
Yes, get after that man. Get in the helicopter, after him. All of you, we mustn't get away for Christ's sake.
Hey guys, this Blue Arts music's great, huh?
Yeah, making me horny.
Let's start with the plot. It's pretty bare bones, really. A virus is stolen from a lab, and the container that it's in breaks and the virus is unleashed, which leaves the army and the scientists arguing about how to sort it all out. Meanwhile, some teenagers and some soldiers are caught in the middle of zombies and the army, who are both trying to kill them. It lacks a lot in its characters, with most of them boiling down to either zombie fodder or bland action heroes. Makes it really difficult to latch on to anyone. And by the end I was really surprised at who managed to survive, because they all felt disposable.
I don't like it here.
Okay, but let's not make a big deal out of it. I like smoking. I take a toke on a joint every now and then, and once in a while I like to piss on a bush.
The dubbing ranges from passable to hilariously bad, and I specifically want to point out the main scientist guy here for this. I think it's something to do with his original Italian characterization, but he pauses quite a lot, and then the voice actor has to also add these pauses in, and it comes across as pretty unnatural and quite funny. We get some decent gore effects, they're okay, and there's some fun zombie parts in here as well. Unfortunately, a lot of the action is taken up with gunfights, and I always think that it makes it far too dull. It's a bit too much power against something as clumsy and as slow as a zombie. It takes away any sort of threat that this film might have, and it definitely makes it feel a lot less like a Fulci film. So, a few things that I thought were worth mentioning, just bullet points more than anything really. Firstly, the zombies talk, which I always find really strange. Used to them just grunting and such. But they sound a lot like the Deadites in The Evil Dead. I don't know, maybe they're using a similar voice filter or something like that. Secondly, there's a big chunk towards the beginning of the film where it basically just turns into Hitchcock's The Birds. It's a fun sequence with lots of zombie birds flying about and attacking people, but it doesn't really fit with the last hour and 10 minutes of the film. It just sort of seems out of place. Thirdly, this film also reminded me of Return of the Living Dead. One for the talking zombies, yeah, but also because there's a big plot point that's very similar to this, being that if you burn the dead that have been infected, their ashes will fly up into the air as smoke, and then it'll turn into rain and rain down on people, and more people get infected due to the rainfall. I'd recommend this one over Flesh Eaters 2 though. Return of the Living Dead is a lot of fun and really good and really worth checking out. One to watch, definitely. And finally, the best part of the film is the flying zombie head. And Fulci agrees with me on this one. Let's take a look at this release then. It's not very good. It's not very good. The print is, okay, so it's a 16:9 film that's been rendered out into a 4:3 aspect ratio, so from widescreen to full screen. So you've got hard-coded in, black bars top and bottom. This has then been ran through on a 16:9 TV, which thinks the film's playing at a 4:3 aspect ratio. So then you've got the black bars at the side as well. So you're watching a film in a box, and it kind of ruins it a little bit. Also, the quality is just not very good either. It's pixelated, it's washed out, and it's very dirty. It's a very dirty film grain that they're using. Massive shame, because there are points in this film, and both Fulci and Bruno Mattei have proven that they can before, where there's nice shots. It looks like I should be going, oh, that's a decent shot, but I just can't really tell what's happening because of the terrible quality. Luckily the sound's okay though, which is good, because the soundtrack's pretty good. And let's see what we get on the disc. Nothing new again, just the same old stuff, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is it for special features. And let's take a look at the case. It's fine, all the info's correct and it's short and to the point. Not sure why it says raves from the grave though. Overall then, unfortunately, this was a bit of a disappointment. It was just okay. It lacks massively in characters and in plot, but there's some decent gore in there and some funny dialogue. I'd say if you're a fan of Flesh Eaters 1, then this might be worth checking out so you can see how the series progressed. Outside of that though, if you're just looking for a fun zombie movie, avoid this one. Check out something like last episode's film, The Zombie Dead. It's miles better than this one. If you wanted an upgrade for this, because this release is awful, then check out 88 Films as Blu-ray. I'm sure it's miles better than this. So, very mixed bag this week. But we're carrying on eating the flesh next week, because we're going to be checking out Zombie Flesh Eaters 3, directed by Clyde Anderson. Clyde Anderson is actually a disguise for Claudio Fagrasso, who's probably most famous for directing Troll 2. Very exciting.